Can he write another headline? Of course he can!
Montiel. Argentina, champions of the world, again, at last!
What happens to a football stadium after the World Cup ends? For 1 month, it becomes the center of the sporting world. Tens of thousands of fans fill the seats. Cameras broadcast every angle, and the biggest players on earth compete under its lights. Then the final whistle blows. The fans fly home, the banners come down, and the stadium that once felt alive is suddenly quiet. That question became especially important after the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. The country built 7 new stadiums and renovated 1 more. For a tournament of just 64 matches, they had futuristic designs, advanced cooling systems, modular seating, retractable sections, and architecture meant to impress the entire world. But Qatar is a small country. Its domestic league rarely attracts crowds large enough to fill stadiums built for 40,000, 60,000, or nearly 90,000 people. So once Lionel Messi lifted the trophy in Lusail, people began asking the obvious question: what would happen to all these stadiums now? Before the tournament, Qatar promised that the venues would not become white elephants, huge, expensive buildings that look impressive but have little practical use. Some stadiums would continue hosting football, some would have their capacity reduced, and others would be transformed into community spaces with schools, shops, clinics, parks, and sports facilities. Many of the 40,000-seat stadiums were designed with removable upper sections. And organizers said thousands of seats and other components could later be donated to countries that needed sporting infrastructure. Education City Stadium, for example, was expected to become a smaller venue serving nearby universities, students, and local communities. Build big for the World Cup, then shrink the stadiums to a size that made more sense for everyday life. But in reality, the process has moved more slowly than many people expected. The best example is Stadium 974. This colorful waterfront venue was built using recycled steel and 974 shipping containers. The number represented both Qatar's international phone code, plus 974, and the containers used in its construction. It was promoted as the first fully demountable stadium in World Cup history. The idea was bold. After hosting 7 matches, the whole structure could supposedly be taken apart, packed up, and rebuilt somewhere else. It was meant to prove that a major tournament stadium did not have to become a permanent burden. Many fans assumed Stadium 974 would disappear soon after the World Cup, but it did not. Months after the tournament, the stadium was still standing. Its exact dismantling date and future destination had not been confirmed. Instead of being taken apart, it returned to football use. In December 2024, it hosted matches in the FIFA Intercontinental Cup. In January 2025, it staged the French Trophée des Champions between Paris Saint-Germain and Monaco. So Stadium 974 has shown that it can be reused, but it has not yet proved its biggest promise, that a full World Cup stadium can be dismantled and successfully reconstructed in another country. By keeping it operational, Qatar gained a flexible venue for international events, but it also shows how difficult these legacy plans can be. Moving thousands of tons of steel, seats, containers, wiring, lighting, security equipment, and safety systems is far more complicated than it sounds in a presentation. Then there is Lusail Stadium, the Golden Bowl where Argentina defeated France in one of the greatest World Cup finals ever played. Lusail was Qatar's Showpiece venue. During the tournament, it held close to 89,000 spectators. The original legacy plan suggested that much of the seating would eventually be removed, and parts of the building would be converted into shops, cafes, schools, health facilities, and other public spaces. But Lusail has remained a major football stadium. In early 2024, Qatar hosted the AFC Asian Cup. Lusail staged both the opening match and the final, where Qatar defeated Jordan to retain the title. 7 of the stadiums used during that tournament had also hosted World Cup matches. Later in 2024, Lusail hosted the FIFA Intercontinental Cup final between Real Madrid and Pachuca. The match was played on December 18th, exactly 2 years after the World Cup final, and on Qatar's National Day. This reveals Qatar's wider strategy. Instead of immediately reducing every stadium, the country has continued bringing major tournaments and high-profile matches to Doha. That keeps the venues visible, useful, and internationally relevant. Other grounds have followed a similar path. Bayt Stadium, designed to look like a traditional Bedouin tent, was reused during the Asian Cup. Al-Janoub, Ahmad bin Ali, Education City, Khalifa International, and Al Thamama have also hosted continental matches, domestic competitions, national team fixtures, and World Cup qualifiers. Some stadiums are linked to local clubs. Ahmad bin Ali is associated with Al Rayyan, while Al-Janoub is used by Al Wakrab. This gives the venues a regular role in Qatari football, instead of limiting them to occasional international events. However, regular use does not always mean full stadiums. World Cup grounds are designed for huge crowds. Qatar's domestic league often attracts only a small fraction of those numbers. A stadium may host a local match, but large sections of the seating can remain empty. That is why calling all of Qatar's stadiums abandoned would be inaccurate. Many continue to host matches and public events. The more honest word is underused. A stadium can stage several important games in a year and still remain mostly empty for long periods. And even when nobody is sitting in the stands, the costs continue. The grass must be maintained, security systems inspected, lights and screens tested, air conditioning equipment serviced, and thousands of seats cleaned. With the exception of Stadium 974, the World Cup venues use systems designed to direct cool air toward players and spectators, rather than trying to chill the entire open building. Cold air was pushed through pitchside vents and openings beneath the seats. The air could then be filtered, cooled, and circulated again. This allowed matches to be played more comfortably in Qatar's climate and gave the venues greater flexibility for future events. But advanced technology also creates long-term responsibility. Cooling a large stadium requires energy, specialist staff, and constant maintenance. Qatar and FIFA promoted the tournament as a sustainability project. They highlighted compact travel distances, public transport, modular seating, reusable components, and post-tournament conversions. Critics, however, argued that constructing 7 new stadiums and so much supporting infrastructure created a large environmental cost that could not simply be erased by future promises. Stadium 974 became the symbol of this argument. Its environmental value depends heavily on what happens next. If it is dismantled and rebuilt elsewhere, the concept could influence future sporting events. But if it remains standing for years without enough use, the original sustainability claim becomes much weaker. There is also a human story behind these grounds. Hundreds of thousands of migrant workers helped build the stadiums, roads, hotels, and transport systems needed for the World Cup. Qatar introduced labor reforms, including a minimum wage, and changes that made it easier for many workers to change jobs. International organizations recognized some progress, but human rights groups continued to raise concerns about enforcement, unpaid wages, working conditions, and access to compensation. That means the true legacy of the stadiums is not only about football, it is also about whether reforms continue after the cameras leave and whether the people who built the tournament benefit from lasting change. So what actually happened to Qatar's football grounds? They did not become instant ruins. They also did not all transform exactly as quickly as promised. Several have been reused for the Asian Cup, domestic football, World Cup qualifiers, the Emir Cup, and FIFA competitions. Lusail remains a global showpiece. Ahmad bin Ali and Al-Janoub have stronger links with local clubs. Education City and other venues still have plans involving community and sporting use. In Stadium 974, the ground built to disappear became the stadium that refused to disappear. The real test will not be decided in 2 or 3 years. It will be decided over the next decade. Hosting occasional international events can keep these venues famous, but long-term success will depend on realistic maintenance costs, capacity reduction, community access, and regular public use. Qatar proved that a small country could build and operate 8 world-class stadiums for the biggest tournament on earth. What it has not fully proved yet is whether every one of those stadiums can remain useful when the world is no longer watching. Because building a spectacular stadium is an engineering challenge. Filling it for 1 month is a sporting challenge. But giving it a meaningful life for the next 50 years, that is the real World Cup legacy for future generations.